Hi everyone. Welcome back to Mixed Media Morsels, Layers of Fun. I've been a little bit under the weather, as you can probably hear in my voice, and I recorded the drawing of the prompts a couple of days ago, and my voice was really bad, so I did not film any sound. So I'm just going to go ahead and put up the little silent drawing of the prompts so that you guys can see what was pulled. And then we're just going to go ahead and move along from there. I'm feeling much better now and ready and excited to play once again. So let's see what I can create with these prompts and let's have fun. Okay, so here are our prompts, and I'm actually thinking about painting, using a paintbrush and some paint for my background, but I think I'm going to do it on a separate piece of paper and glue it in. That way it will sturdy up the flimsiness of these pages. What I'm going to be using is the paintbrush and also the masking tape prompt. I'm going to use those two in this particular step. And I'm just going to paint on a piece of printer paper. What I'm going to do is stick down some masking tape, maybe just tear some little square shapes. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I'm going to make my background look just yet. I just know that I am going to paint, and I am going to put masking tape down and paint over the top of it. So let's see how this goes. You can use your masking tape as an actual mask if you want to, and then paint over it and remove it. But I think I'm going to be leaving mine on the paper just for added texture. I'm putting mine down pretty flat. You can also, crinkle it up and stick it down, like deliberately wrinkling it. I'll do it over here, like like that, and giving it a lot of actual texture, more texture, I should say. I mean, this will give it texture too. It just won't be quite as much because it's flat. But I think it's still going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. Okay, and while this is wet, I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of water from a distance. And I'm going to let that sit on there for a second, and then I'm going to blot it. And I think it'll make a really cool effect on there. Just kind of removing some of the paint and leaving some of the texture from the paper towel. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, isn't that cool? And then there's also the fun paper towel to play with later too. Get some of this edge here. Okay, there we go. Isn't that neat? The paint, I think, doesn't stick to the surface of the tape as well because it's non-porous. So I think that kind of helps to get the removable effect. But yeah, that's just fun. I love that. Okay, I'll lay this over here to dry. This is kind of cool too. I laid my deli paper over on a silicone mat that I have over here beside me, and it's got a texture to it. And so when I was cleaning the brush off. I don't know if you can see that. Let me lay it on my book where it's white. It picked up the texture from the mat, so that's kind of neat. Just to use later in collage. I think that'll be really fun. All right, so I got this nice and dry now. So here's a close-up so you can see how cool that texture looks on the, it's mostly on the tape pieces. There's a little bit in the background, of the paint background also. But it's just a fun little thing. I wanted to try it out and I like it. So that's a fun little experiment. All right, now I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to use this just yet on my background. So before I do any tearing or sticking down, I want to get the other little piece that I was piddling around with earlier. So I took some scraps. All right, I went to my box that's got, just a bunch of scrap painted papers, and there's some scrapbook papers and magazine pieces. There's just all kinds of stuff in here. So I got the box out and I started pulling out items that were of similar color, and I kept noticing a lot of these teal and purple and green mixtures. So I just laid those in a pile, and then I pulled from this little pile and kind of put together this little clustery bit. It's not even real solid yet. It's just stapled in a couple of places just to kind of hold it together so I wouldn't forget how I had laid it out. But I just thought it was very cute, and I think it'll be a cute little addition on a page. So this is what I did, and I did this first, and that's why I came up with this particular paint color, because I thought that would kind of work well together. So just wanted to give you an idea of how my brain is working for this particular page. So I want this on the background, and then this will be kind of on top. And I was thinking I like this little square with the hole punched out of it. And I just thought that might be cute to attach to it as well. Let's see, maybe here. Well, I don't know. There's a little piece jutting up there, so maybe over here someplace. Anyway, I was just, like I said, playing around with it. So there's nothing definite yet. But I did like the pieces that were stapled together, and I thought this little piece might add an extra layer of something fun. I don't know. I think I might want to put something in with a black pattern underneath here. And I do have a little focal point that I was thinking I might put on the cluster. Anyway, that's where my head is. That's what I'm thinking that I'm going to do. So now I have to decide how I want to do this and where I want to attach that, but I'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so I just did enough of this that I thought I could tear it and put a piece, on each page. I don't know. This covers up a good portion of the page. So maybe just have a little strip of this at the top, maybe a strip on this side. I don't know. Let's see. I think I'll start with, and I won't be able to tear this very well through the tape. I mean, the masking tape does tear, so maybe it won't be an issue. Let's see. Maybe I think I'll just start over here and see if I can tear it. Yeah, it tears right through the tape. Okay, that's good. Here we go. Okay, so before I put these little pieces on, I just want to take a stencil, and I'm going to go ahead and use my sponge and ink. That was part of our prompts. I've got a little sponge applicator here, and I'm just going to use this stencil. Just going to do it kind of lightly. It's just to add another little element of the blocks, like the tape is kind of representing a little bit of just blocks. So I'm just lightly putting some ink on here. Just little random spots. Yeah, just to give it a hint of a little bit more in the background and to kind of put something on all that white area. So I've got some little tissue papers that I have used markers on and just drawn out some little patterns just to use in collage. And I was thinking I might use some of this as another layer on my pages. They're all kind of cute. I'm leaning more toward this one, and I specifically think it would look kind of cool to have some of this pattern behind this little square. And then when I put it down, I think it'll look really cool. So I'm going to add that first. That's so cute. So when this is over here, this now will go here. It just looks so awesome. And then when the black gets brought in with this, it just makes it all work together so well. I love it. Okay, so I love that, and I want to add just a little bit of this in a couple more spots. It's just another way of making marks on your page rather than marking directly on the page. You just glue down your mark. So with the tissue paper, it just disappears right onto the page, and it looks like you drew them there. So I love that. That's a fun little way of doing it. I may add a few more bits of it, but I'm going to start with this and see how I like it. So I'm just using my little glue and water mixture. It's roughly 75% white glue and 25% water. Now this one needs to be, I think it needs to have a piece of white glued to the back of it. So I've got a little piece of scrap paper here. And I'm going to use this glue and water, same way. The background will look much better and will look more white. There we go. And then I'll brush a little bit on top. Also, the markers that I used to make the black marks are also permanent. Those were Sharpie markers. So no bleeding. You see, it just stays, it stays right there. It stays right where it's supposed to stay. Just kind of pressing down this frame here into that glue a little bit. I'm thinking I want to put a little bit of some stamping in the background where I attach these things. I have a little rubber stamp with numbers on it. I was going to use black ink, but I think I'm going to go with the gray and see if I like that. Just to have a little bit of something going on back there. It's kind of cool. I like that. All right. Just gives it a little bit more going on back there. Yeah, that looks nice. I think I'm going to put a little bit right here because these get pretty covered up. There we go. Oops, those are upside down. Not that it matters, but it's just funny. Okay. I like that. All right, and then I've got this little piece of tape. I'm wanting to use this because the colors go pretty well. And it's a piece of tape that I created years and years ago. It's not masking tape, but it's that medical tape. I thought it might just be fun to have it right along the center right here. I'm going to just lay it here for a minute and see how I like it. And then I'm going to have some other things over here. I have to add my ticket, and that's the last of the prompts. I think I do like that, but I think I will maybe add the dots again and make them a little bit whiter because they kind of soaked into the tape, I think. So maybe if I put another layer, it will look like it should look. I still think I want a little bit more of these marks. And some of these got covered by this tape, so I definitely want to add a little bit more of that out here. Okay, I'm going to take a very fine black pen and just add some scribble writing for just a little bit more black in the background, but not as heavy as this black and not as light as the gray. Okay, now I can finish putting this together. I think I like that right there. So I'm going to just staple it in place. There and right here. And put a little bit of glue behind this. And now my little plant, my little doodle goes here. I think I'm going to just staple it in place also. Just do a couple on the stem area. There and right here. Oh, love it. That was such a fun use of scraps, you guys. Just grabbing a few and kind of laying them in different, I turned them in all different ways until I found a way that looked pleasant to my eye. And that's a great use of little scraps. I love that. Clusters are always fun. They just are. All right, so that's going to be attached there. And then I've got a little ticket here with a quote on it. Now, I made the ticket out of a label. So it was just a little label with lines and stuff on it. And I punched the corners just with a regular old punch to make it look like a ticket. And then I just cut out this quote from a little book that I have and glued it on. And it says, "Take the gentle path." And I like that. And then I have a green butterfly that I cut out also. And I'm going to put that over here to bring some of this green over here to this side of the page. Okay, so I have everything glued down now and attached to my page. And I was looking through some of my little bits and pieces that I've created recently, and I found one of my little strips that I made from catalog images, and it's in greens, and so it's perfect. I think I'm going to put just a little piece of it right down here on this corner, so I'm going to cut it apart right here. I loved these little green bits that I had found, and so I just thought, I'm just going to make a strip. I don't have any use for it right now, but I'm just going to make it because it's so cute. And then it turns out here I am using it. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm going to put that right there and enjoy that on this page. And that's going to be my page today, you guys. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. It's so good to be back to feeling like creating again. So that has been a pleasure just in itself. but making this page was really, really fun. I will probably end up taking a black ink pad or marker around the edges just to kind of frame in the page. But there it is. I had so much fun. And I hope you guys do too, just making layer after layer and using these prompts has a little guidance for you. Use as many as you want or as few as you want and just have fun creating. That's the main point. So I look forward to seeing what you've created in the Mixed Media Morsels Facebook group. There's a link in the description of this video. And we will talk to you again soon in the next video. Take care, everybody. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.